Welcome back, everyone, to Week 13 of the Wild West.
Yeah. Here we go. It's your Buckeye Believin' Who Dey Hopeful. Chris with a K.
And it's your boy Justin.
Travis.
This is your Buckeye Killer Wolverine style. Carlos in the house. Sorry, I had to do it to you, Chris. I was waiting for this moment.
Tough. It was a tough week. It's a tough Saturday.
Go maize corn. All right, you guys, we are going to talk about the Swift Kids World Cup edition, Hangry Polar Caps, also the breakdown of the Week 13, your DDK fantasy football lineup, Driz and Los players of the week, and our favorite show, Who's Hot and
Who's Not.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and give a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
Hey guys, have you ever seen those little towns in Kansas and wondered, what's there? Let me tell you about a hidden gem in Salina, Sky Trampoline. It is the perfect place for both family outings and spending the day with friends. They have large open trampoline jump court, a ninja course, a setup to test or develop your parkour skills, and that's not even close to everything. Additional fun can be had in their foam pit, dodgeball area, a laser maze, and even an arcade. They also have specialty events with black light lit trampolines and a DJ. Sky Trampoline is located at 1820 South 9th Street in Salina, Kansas, and is open every day until at least 9 most days and sometimes even later. Give Sarah a call at 785-491-1118.
All right, you guys. So the World Cup Special Edition right now, we are in the knockout stages. So far, from Group A and B, we've got on Saturday's game, we have the Netherlands going against USA, and we've got Senegal going against England. There are going to be more games throughout the week heading into the round of 16, so stay tuned on that. So far, we congrats to the USA real quick. They advanced.
made it.
What a great game against Iran. They played with heart. Now, Iran did not give up.
No, they
did not give up. It was a great game. So congratulations, USA, for advancing, sending Mexico and Canada back home. So they are back home now. But now we got to see these more games coming up. So stay tuned. Well, let's go ahead and give a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
Hey guys, why don't you check out She Barber Cuts Barbershop and give Markeisha Brown, the licensed professional barber there, a call at 316-218-3566 for all your haircut needs. She's got cuts for kids, adults, and for those who are looking for the good one, the deluxe with beard trims, wash, and hot towels. So don't forget to give Markeisha a call at She Barber Cuts and see her at 2319 North Ridge, Barber Suite 6A here in Wichita, Kansas.
All right, it's one of our favorite segments so far for all our hockey fans out there. It's the Hangry Polar Caps. We're going to do a quick breakdown. So in the Eastern Conference, in the Atlantic Division, we have the Boston Bruins leading right now. In second place, the Toronto Maple Leafs. And third, the Tampa Bay Lightning. In the Metro Division, we have the New Jersey Red Devils, the New York Islanders, and the Carolina Hurricanes. On over to the Western Conference, we have in the Central, we have the Dallas Stars in first, second, the Winnipeg Jets, and third, the Colorado Avalanche. And then on to the Pacific, we have the Las Vegas Golden Knights in first, the new second team of the season, the Seattle Krakens, they're in second, and the Los Angeles Kings. Stay tuned, you guys, for the Hangry Polar Caps. We will break down on the teams throughout the season. Let's go ahead and have a quick pause and thank our following sponsors.
Well, I don't know about you folks, but here at Sportsfellas, things can get, well, a nice right funk going on sometimes. And in that time of need, we turn to our friend Kimberly Sampson, our own personal Cincy independent consultant. She is our favorite star consultant, so for your scent needs, get a hold of Kimberly at heavenlyscentswithkim@gmail.com or visit her website, heavenlyscentswithkim.cincy.us. You can also call her at 316-282-7363. That's Kimberly Sampson at Cincy, our favorite independent consultant.
All right, we are here at Week 13 of the NFL season. Time is going fast, guys.
Man.
I can't believe we're already at Week 13. And so we've got, again, a lot of upsets, a lot of, where were you guys coming from? Where were you at? What took you so long? And so we're going to dive in real quick, you guys. Let's kick it off. We have The Pittsburgh Steelers going against the Atlanta Falcons. Travis, who you take?
I'm going to take the Steelers here. I feel like Atlanta, they're just slowly starting to descend back in the division. I feel like Pittsburgh's starting to pick it up with TJ Watt coming back, so I'm going to take Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to take Pittsburgh simply because they have a good defense. And Atlanta has been struggling with Marcus Mariota in the backfield.
I'm going to roll with Pittsburgh for what you guys were saying, but also I was doing a little research because I was thinking about this. The AFC North is playing the NFC South this year, and there has only been one loss, and that was I think it was the Browns, if I recall, to the Falcons. Everyone else and all the other matchups, the AFC North is dominating them. So I'm going to stick with that role, keep that theme going. The Pittsburgh has looked better the last couple weeks, so I'm going to go with Pittsburgh in there.
There's no brainer here. Atlanta, Marcus Mariota is not really getting you guys anywhere. Why not get your quarterback you guys drafted? Get him situated. I mean, you guys are in a situation where you're not going to go to the playoffs. So why not just pull out all stops, get these young guys in, kind of give everybody an opportunity to shape up for next year, and then maybe pick up some draft picks. So, yes, I will take Pittsburgh. Let's move on over to my terrible team, the Denver Broncos, heading over to Baltimore. Chris, who are you taking?
Man, I had hope for your Broncos. I tried to pick them a couple times, and it just didn't work out for me. So not falling into that trap again. Also, the Ravens are looking pretty good. I'm sure they're pretty hot after this last weekend, getting bit by Jacksonville. I loved it. Loved seeing
that. You mean they got mauled?
Yeah, it did. Right there with that 2-point at the end, and it was just a great ending to that game. But I'm going to go with the Ravens at home here. I think that they've got plenty in the tank to take out Broncos.
Okay, let's go here.
Dresden, if you don't put your seatbelt on, I'm going to kick you off the plane like OBJ. Be careful what you're saying.
Hey, it's Baltimore, man. At this rate, I think I've been seeing a meme going around where Russell Wilson's going to have more restrooms in his house than he will touchdowns. Outstanding. He's going at this rate. So it's looking terrible for them, man. So it's got to be Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm also going to take Baltimore here. Justin Houston has been a huge impact for that Ravens defense. I feel like they'll continue this week and beat the Broncos.
We're in shambles. So DJ, hit my song. Here's the deal. Russell, you're pathetic, man. You promised us a lot of things, and our coach has got to go. I don't think he was ready for the coaching position yet. Also, again, we've discussed previously on the show, I think the owners of Denver right now, they're thinking, what in the world were these guys doing? Or they did this deal and said, hey, I'll stick it to you. Here you go. Right. So here's the thing. Country, Russell Wilson, hopefully you can regain back your confidence in the locker room, finish out some games. We know you're not going to win the division. Definitely not win it. You're definitely not going to the playoffs. And this is the time now where you can start making some statement games to bring back morale. I mean, you still got the Chiefs, got 2 more games against Kansas City. It's so embarrassing that they took us off the prime time. Off the prime time. Can you believe that?
You guys were so bad that they took Patrick Mahomes off prime time. That says something.
And put the Chargers on.
Oh, wow. That's just ridiculous. So, yeah, we're going Baltimore. In the words of a good friend here that listens to our show, Travis, huge Baltimore fan, we were discussing, and he was telling me that Baltimore, they need to get it together, stay in unison, offense and defense. And because last week's game, Marcus Peters was getting picked on. And I think now the teams around the league are looking like, hey, let's go against this guy here because he's playing frustrated. He doesn't commit in certain all-the-way plays. And so this could be an opportunity for Russell. Yeah, wink, if that's really going to happen. But this could be an opportunity of being able to get Russell to throw out to these young receivers because there's no running game right now. Melvin Gordon's gone, thank goodness, because he kept fumbling the ball. So it's going to be a terrible day. Another win for Baltimore. Moving on over to the NFC North Showdown. The Green Bay Packers going against the Chicago Bears. Tristan, who are you taking?
This is a tough one because Green Bay's been picking it up. Christian Watson's been lining it up as a rookie now. And they've been putting up points. Their offense isn't too bad anymore, I feel like. But Chicago is also still good. It honestly depends on how, he's going to look, quarterback.
Fields. Is he playing this week?
I think he's questionable.
Still questionable. I think he's questionable.
I mean, he's been playing with, I thought, a hurt shoulder he was playing for a few weeks.
Well, he was off last week, but yeah. The thing with that, the problem I have with Chicago is they don't really have that good of a defense.
Yeah.
And now that Green Bay's getting it going with Christian Watson and Rodgers connecting, Love went in there and looked good. So, I'm going to pick Green Bay because Green Bay, their offense has been picking it up. And Chicago's defense is just terrible. And even if Fields does come in, they'll do good, but I don't think it'll be enough to win against Green Bay.
Yeah, I kind of piggyback off of what Tristan said. I think Green Bay's starting to settle in a little bit. We'll see where Rodgers is with his whatever injury he's facing, if he's going to play or not, like if they're winning or not. That whole press conference kind of threw me off. But I think that in this situation, I mean, it's still Rodgers is looking better. And like you said, the Bears defense is rough. So I think that the Packers are going to pull one off and keep hopes alive in Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm also going to take Green Bay here. Fields, I mean, if he's going to be playing, he's going to be putting the team on his back, but he's not going to be at full potential, so I'm going to take Green Bay.
This is a real simple game. The thing is that Chicago has not been able to beat Green Bay. They struggle against them, and the thing is that Green Bay's weaponry is a little bit better than Chicago's because right now Mooney's out for the year. And also Montgomery's been inconsistent. So the team's just kind of gone back to normal, especially with that beatdown that the Jets gave them last week. I just can't see Chicago rebounding from that. So I'm going to take Green Bay. Moving on over, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Detroit Lions. Travis, who you taking?
I'm going to take the Lions here. Jags, they've been up and down all year long. They'll have a couple of big games where they win against big teams, and then following after that, they'll start to usually fall and lose to a couple of questionable games. So I'm going to take Lions here.
I'm going to take Jacksonville. I like the game they put up against Baltimore last week. Trevor Lawrence and, Zay Jones, they really connected. They were getting things going. And, the Lions they lack that defense, and I feel like that's what Jacksonville's going to take advantage of.
I'm going to go with Travis here and go with the Lions. I do think Jacksonville had a good week, but I think they're a young team. And like Travis was saying, I think they're just lacking some consistency. They're really up and down. The Lions are a little up and down too, but I think there's a little more structure there. Jared Goff's, they've got a little more maturity in that offensive room. So I think the Lions are probably going to pull out a close one. I think the Jacksonville's still going to look pretty decent, but I think the Lions are going to pull this one out.
This is going to be a tricky game. I mean, Jacksonville beat a great team of Baltimore, and Detroit went toe-to-toe with Buffalo. And we're talking about a high-octane offense, and Detroit just missed it. They're going to play a team that's not as good as Buffalo, but they could give Jacksonville a hard time. If they can win it together, pull it together, and they're at home, Detroit will be it. So I'm going to take Detroit. I'm going to take a gamble, and I'm going to take Detroit in this game. Next up, we have the Cleveland Browns against the Houston Texans. Tristan, who are you taking?
Give me Cleveland. They looked great last week, and I feel like they're going to continue this against a terrible Texans team.
This one's curious. Deshaun Watson hasn't played in a year and a half total, or more than that, and if you count up the exact months, I think. So this should be interesting to see him come back in his previous place of playing. I don't think that that's going to have very much effect really on the overall game so much as where his skill level is, if he's playing well or if he's got to shake off some rust. That being said, the Houston Texans are just, there's not much. They're on their backup quarterback, I believe now.
Yeah, they're switching quarterbacks.
They're just trying to find something because there's nothing to find there, unfortunately. No. And they still got, they're still an NFL team. They've still got pro players there that are going to work hard and fight, but they just don't have the talent. And when you've got guys like Kamara, or not Kamara, but Hunt and Chubb there running the ball, I think that's going to be, look at what some of the good runners have done. Derrick Henry put up 200, right? So I think that they're going to not even make Deshaun do much, and Cleveland's going to win this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Cleveland also. I feel like that's a no-brainer. I feel like if Deshaun has an amazing game, their receiving core is going to play very well. Amari Cooper, he might have a big game. But yeah, I'm going to go Cleveland.
Yeah, Houston's in big trouble. You got Myles Garrett coming to town, and especially is Jadeveon Clowney playing as well?
I don't know if he's.
I think he's been questionable.
But still, here's the thing. Pierce,
sure
he's been playing with his heart out. Brandon Cooks has been a little inconsistent and disgruntled. They're just going through a major change, and I just think this is not their year. They need to refine their identity. So I'm going to take Cleveland. Next up, let's take on the New York Jets. Jets. All right, going against the Minnesota Vikings, the Skulls. All right, Chris, who are you taking?
I like the Vikings. They're one of my personal favorite teams. Not my total favorite team, but I do like them a lot. I think the Vikings are going to pull this one out. I know the Jets are coming off a big win last week, thinking they're all hot stuff. Mike White, he did it to my Bengals last year, threw up like 400 yards on them, which was just ridiculous for who knows what reason. He did it last week. I don't think that there's a lot of consistency to his game yet. He's still a younger guy. He's someone that needed some time to work into it. But I think that they're in a little bit of disarray still with Wilson and that whole whatever's going on in those offensive rooms. Robert Saleh trying to get something going on over there. But I think the Vikings are having a good year, and they're gonna get back in the win column this week.
Yeah, I got to go with you. I'm going with the Vikings simply because they got an offense. They got a quarterback that's been there, done that. And, Mike White had a good game, but last year when he had a couple good games, then he sort of fell off. And who knows? It's just too inexperienced, and the Vikings are looking good.
Yeah, I'm also going to take Vikings here. Jets running back Michael Carter is questionable for this week. He didn't practice today at all for his ankle. And I mean, they're going to have to rely on Mike White to throw the ball against Minnesota's defense, and I just don't think that'll happen. So I'm going to take Minnesota here.
Here's one thing I can count on. Kirk Cousins not playing prime time, so that's a plus. Second, they're at home, and what a great win against New England. I mean, they did go toe-to-toe with New England, and the Jets don't have that kind of offense that New England has. Mm-hmm. It's just that their defense has gotten great. So, I can see Sauce Gardner probably going against Holton J. Jettis, which that's going to be interesting to watch.
That'll be a great
But the thing
matchup.
is I just don't think with the other offensive powers, like I said, we mentioned the weeks before, Adam Thielen needs to get looked at a little bit more. Get more involved.
Yeah.
And I keep petitioning for Osborne. That guy is physical.
I think
He's tall.
Hawkinson's taking a lot of those reps too.
And that will work. Well, if Minnesota's going to, as they're approaching into playoff system, they need all the wins as possible. So we'll take Minnesota. Next up, we have a NFC East showdown. We have the Washington Commanders against the G-Men. I can't even talk right today.
G-Men.
There you go. All right, Travis, who you taking?
I'm going to take the Giants here. I feel like Taylor Heineke's been on a roll a lot recently, but I feel like the Giants are going to come into this one, and I feel like they're going to sneakily take this one away from the Commanders with their hot streak. So I'm going to take Giants.
I'm going to take Washington on this one. I feel like I've doubted them too many times this season. They proved me wrong all those times. Their defense still looks great, and Heineke's got something going on there. So give me Washington.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Tristan on this and go with Washington. Go with Heineke. He has looked great. He's keeping them winning. And I think that Saquon's looking a little banged up from earlier this year, maybe just the stress of the season. And Daniel Jones still looks confused a lot of the time, I think. I know they've played it really well this year, but I don't think it's quite there for the Giants. I think Washington pulls probably what I would guess is an upset this weekend and beats the Giants.
I'm going with the hot hand. Washington right now, they're peaking at the right time, and especially with Tyler Heineke, he's fun to watch. I mean, he doesn't put up stat numbers. It's just the way that the team rallies behind him. And then defensively, I mean, especially under Coach Rivera, they play hard. They do what they can. And so I think Washington will go ahead and creep up. And I do have Washington making it to the postseason, and you better watch out. I'm not going to say they'll go to the NFC Championship, but I think they'll shake up a little bit in the conference.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, moving on over. We have the Tennessee Titans against the Eagles Fly. Philadelphia. Chris, who are you taking?
I'm going to get wild here. I'm going to go with Tennessee. I think they're going to be a little revengeful after taking a tough loss last week at home. I think that Derrick Henry's going to be a little beast mode running through there. And I don't think that Jalen Hurts is ready for that defense that Mike Vrabel's put together in Tennessee. So I think Tennessee's going to go for an upset.
I got Tennessee on this one too. Nice. And I feel like especially with Traylon Burks coming back, they've got a receiving game going on with him there. He looks really good. Yeah. And that opens up a lot of possibility with Derrick Henry. He's already dominating the run. And I think it's going to be a close one, but give me Tennessee, man.
I'm going to take the Eagles. Jalen Hurts, I mean, he's been playing good. Their Eagles defense had a couple of nice interceptions against Green Bay last week, but I'm going to take the Eagles.
This is a little different for me because I'm starting to see now that Ryan Tannehill's throwing the ball. That So they're kind of taking away that pressure from Derrick Henry, and they're throwing the ball a little bit more frequently. And on the Eagles side, you barely beat Green Bay. You were dominating against them, and you let them come back on you. You can't do that. You're proving to me that you're not really a 10-1 team. Could they be a team of circumstance that they just got an easy schedule? Are they really, really that 10-1 team?
Right.
This is a great first test for them. And I think it's going to come down to the wire. But this is the time where Tennessee gets real dangerous. And the thing is, they've got the experience as much as more than Philadelphia. So I will take Tennessee as well for the upset. Next up, we have an NFC West showdown of the Seattle Seahawks going against the Super Bowl champions, the lame Los Angeles Rams. Travis, who are you taking?
I'm going to take the Seahawks here. I mean, what can you say? I mean, the Rams haven't been really doing too much. The third-string quarterback, I mean, he played, I guess, all right. I mean, he didn't really do too well against Kansas City. I mean, how can you do...
What's his name, Travis?
There
you go.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, how can you do well against Kansas City in your first career start? I mean, you're just not going to have that, so I'm going to take Seahawks.
I'm taking Seahawks because we saw that offense against Kansas City. I don't care if it was in Kansas City. They looked terrible. That quarterback, Willis, was their entire offense. Like, they only gained yardage off of him scrambling and running the ball.
Right.
He barely passed, got a bunch of, like, garbage time yards towards the end. It's just, they didn't look very good. And I feel like that's how it's going to continue to look throughout the rest of the season. And so give me Seattle.
Yeah, the Rams just keep seeming to go from bad to worse every week. It just keeps injuries are piling up, and there's not much left. I mean, the defense is still kind of stout, but I think the Seahawks are gonna roll this. It might be a little closer than some would expect, but I think Seahawks got it pretty easy.
There's an injury report. Coach Sean is questionable after that hit. That's how bad it is.
Concussion protocol.
It's bad. Coach got hit. That guy got knocked out. It was crazy. It looked like a Mortal Kombat hit. And here's the deal. Seattle's coming off that surprising loss to the Raiders. I mean, the thing is, again, Seattle defensively, they struggle. They're not a good secondary team, and the problem is Pete Carroll, they're going to have to find a way to rely on the offense, because right now the Raiders, they went into Seattle. They ran the ball well. They just let Derek Carr
I think the Raiders just finally played to what people has been expecting all year. It just finally showed up for once, which was wild.
And we'll talk about them here shortly. So yeah, I'll take Seattle. Next up, we have the Miami Dolphins against the San Francisco 49ers. Tristan, who you taking?
Give me Miami. Coach Mike McDaniel, coach for the Niners. He knows their playbook. He knows, I feel like, what they're going to run. So, and they're still hot, man. They got a great offense, a great defense. And despite San Francisco's amazing defense, I think that offense of Miami's is too much for them to hold. So, give me Miami this week.
I'm also going to take Miami. Ever since Tua got his second injury this year, since he's come back from it, he's been phenomenal. 10 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, I believe is what the stat was. But, I mean, he's been playing phenomenal, so I'm going to take Miami.
As long as Tua can finish the game, I'm taking Miami. Yeah. I don't know if anyone just watches him very closely. When he gets hit, it's like he doesn't know how to take a hit or fall when he's getting – like he just himself like twists himself all right, and that's how he gets slung to where it hits his shoulder or his knee gets twisted. So assuming that he can not get hit horribly hard, because San Francisco does have a good defense, and I mean they're going to be coming after him, but Miami looks pretty unstoppable every time they step up to the plate. They scored 30 points in the first half and then just coasted for the rest of the game to a nice victory last week. So I'm going Miami.
Like the song says, I'm going to Miami. For all the old timers there. Well, that was a jam. Back when he was cool, when he wasn't slapping people on stage in front of the world. I'm taking Miami. Thing is just you got so much offensive firepower, and especially with Tyreek and then Waddle as well. It's just San Francisco they're just going to have their hands full. And the thing, it's going to be an interesting game, but I just feel Miami's got this Here's an interesting game here. Next up, we have Tristan's team.
Chiefs Kingdom, baby.
Kansas City Chiefs going against who dey? The Cincinnati Bengals. Travis, I'll start this off with you. Who you taking?
I'm going to take Kansas City on this one. Last year, the Bengals beat the Chiefs both times. I feel like Andy Reid's going to go into this one with wanting revenge from those two games, so I'm going to take Kansas City.
Go ahead, Tristan.
I'm going with Kansas City. I don't know who else I would choose. Even if with Mixon and Chase possibly coming back. Come on, it's Kansas City. Last year when we played y'all twice, we had a very good start. All we need to do is finish it. And so what I'm saying is all we need to do is finish it. And I feel like this year we've got our stuff together. We got a better defense. We're gonna finish it this time around.
Yeah, I mean, I got to take my Cincinnati Bengals. It's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be like the other two last year where it's going to be really close. Probably come down to the gun or maybe even overtime like it did in the playoffs. But, I got my Bengals. Lou Anarumo is the defensive coordinator for the Bengals, is kind of a mad scientist back there. And he's got all kinds of crazy packages he throws at people that have team games, guys like Kelsey. Kelsey hasn't had a big game against us really, which is wild. So I think that it's going to be pretty tight. So I'm going to go with the Bengals. I think they're going to pull it off at home.
Here's the thing. When I watched that game,
I'll take this island for the win, by the way, guys.
Ooh.
I know you all are going to go Chiefs.
Okay. And you're wrong. I'm going to take the Bengals.
Oh, that means I won. That means they're winning. Yeah, Carlos calls it.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bengals. And here's why. The thing is, that game last week against Tennessee, they managed to get to Derrick Henry. So then if they're able to stop on the line, because you can't compare Ryan Tannehill to Patrick Mahomes. It's way different. Patrick Mahomes will spread you out and literally, get at you. So, Coach Taylor's got to figure out a way, learn from what happened last year and capitalize on watching film this year and see where it could be. Tristan and I, we talked about this quite a bit. Take away Kelsey, the next person will step up. Get rid of that person, the next person. There is no Tyreek, so we don't have to worry about that much speed. And then literally it's just a matter of disrupting Mahomes. That's when that's the heart of the matter, like the song Don Henley for all you old timers.
I don't know if you've been seeing Pacheco step up, but that opens a lot of possibilities for us.
Yeah, well, you keep dreaming, Tristan.
Oh, I will, because
Pacheco's
going to have a game.
No, you know who's going to have the game? It's going to be the wide receivers. If Chase coming back, he's just going to torch you guys. And then also, yes,
McDuffie's been in lockdown this year.
Okay, then how you guys going to step up with the other wide receivers?
Because
Higgins. I'm not even saying nothing.
L'Jarius Sneed's one of the top cornerbacks in the league.
Torn ACL next year. I was joking, but
I think it's going to be a good game.
It'll be a good game.
Really close.
Yeah, we're calling it. Hopefully, they wear their white jerseys. That'd be kind of neat.
They're not. They only do they can only do it two games. You can only wear your special unis 2 games, and they've already worn them.
All right.
They could do orange, maybe. I don't know.
They can get creative, like the Chargers here. You never know.
Speaking
of them, we got the game up next. We got the Bolts and the Los Angeles Chargers against the Los Angeles Raiders. Travis.
Obviously, I'm going to take my Chargers here. I feel like this game is going to be a good one. Just like week 1, I feel like this will be within a 7-point range of scoring. I feel like Herbert, he's going to be throwing it on this defense a lot. Raiders don't have Darren Waller, so I feel like Derwin James is going to be on Devontae Adams a lot this game. He kind of shut DeAndre Hopkins down a little bit, gave up a touchdown, but he got an interception, forced fumble last week, so I'm going to take my Chargers here.
I'm going to take the Raiders. I've never taken the Raiders all year, and I'm taking the Raiders. Yeah, I feel like with Josh Jacobs carrying the team on his back, stepping up.
He has been having a calf injury issue, though.
Okay, with that calf injury, he'll get 200 yards, not 300 yards. Wow. So, and it really boils down to the fact that the Chargers' defense has been really underwhelming, in my opinion. And especially with Josh Jacobs stepping up, I feel like it's going to be close. But man, give me Las Vegas. Y'all may have a worse record than them by the end of the season.
Ooh, no. I'm going to go Chargers. I think they're starting to get healthy now. I think it started to show a little bit in that Cardinals game. And I think they're just getting better and healthier. And the Raiders, they're they're really down more than up, and I think that they're going to come off of a big win and kind of dissolve at the end of it and kind of fall apart. So it'll probably be pretty close. It's a divisional game, at least for the first half. But I do think the Chargers are going to pull out the win.
This is a weird game. I don't know why I'm getting this vibe, but the thing is, the Raiders with that win, I just seem like Derek Carr got this monkey off his back, and it's just kind of like it's the picture's clear for him now. Like, okay, I got my run game. Let's stay consistent there. Devontae Adams, who they covered. Now they've got some good corners. I mean, the Chargers don't take that away from them. They got some good corners, but last week they were giving D-Hop a kind of a hard time, and so this is a divisional game, and it's just always they play close, and these are like the stepchild of the Chiefs. So I'm gonna take a gamble. I'm gonna take a gamble on it. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take the Chargers. I'll take the Chargers. Ooh. I think it's gonna come down to a field goal or a capitalized mistake, but I still have this feeling the Raiders might win, but I'll roll with the Chargers.
If it comes down to a field goal, it probably would be the Raiders, based on recent histories. I would say.
So we'll have to see. All right, let's go ahead. Next up, we have the Indianapolis Colts against the Dallas Cowboys. Who are you taking, Chris?
I'm going to go Cowboys. I think that their defense is just too much. They got the offense is really starting to roll well behind Dak, and CeeDee Lamb's finally looks like a number one receiver, and Tony Pollard. They just need to kick Elliott to the curb and roll with Pollard, man. He is a beast. So I'm going Cowboys at home.
Cowboys.
I'm also going to go with the Cowboys. The Colts. Yeah, Cowboys.
Yeah, of course, Dallas. I mean, Micah Parsons. I mean, they just look great, and especially the running back situation. It's like Zeke doesn't want to go away. He doesn't want to go away. It's like, okay, put him in the shelf, but hey, he's doing okay. Pollard had a great game against Minnesota, but not too much against the Giants in the Thanksgiving game. And then so it's been vice versa. But the thing is I think Pollard and Zeke can have a monster game against the Colts because the Colts aren't really doing much. I mean, I wouldn't take Coach Saturday on this because he gets lost in time. Who in the world says that as a coach? Oh, I was caught up in. This is not Inception. This is not, what's wrong with you?
That's a rookie coach.
Super rookie. That's kind of like when Tom Brady said that he didn't know it was fourth down.
Right.
Or I didn't know worse. But no, it's just a growing pains. I think this right now, Dallas, you're coming in on the wrong time, and this is it. Next up, we have the New Orleans Saints against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who are you taking, Tristan?
I'm taking Tampa Bay. New Orleans, with Alvin Kamara struggling, they struggle. I feel like Alvin Kamara really decides how they're doing that game. Like, he decides the flow of the game. Olave didn't have a very good game last week either, but Tampa Bay, I feel like they have a great defense. Their offense just needs to step it up and not, screw up, and they can win this one, and they should win this one.
I'm also going to take the Bucs here. Brady's been struggling against the Saints the last couple of years, but this year he changed it around, beat the Saints the first time around. I feel like he would do that with the second time around also.
Oh man, we're talking about two teams that are not very good. Well, every team in the AFC South, I guess, falls under that banner right now. Yeah. But the Buccaneers they're probably gonna win the division somehow, some way. I think that starts with a divisional win in Tampa Bay on Monday night. Sorry.
It's gonna be Tampa Bay. New Orleans looks lost, so and then Alvin Kamara has not playing consistent. This is terrible all the way around. And, you could tell James Winston's a better quarterback. I mean, don't get me wrong. Andy Dalton, he's got the arm. I mean, he's doing what he can. It's just it just doesn't look right. And then they just need to start from the ground up again. Start getting rid of these players, Michael Thomas. Start getting rid of people that are just kind of holding you guys back and start over. All right, let's go ahead and tune into the game of the week. It's brought to you by the Arsenal. We have an AFC East showdown. The New England Patriots going against the Buffalo Bills. Tristan, who are you taking?
I guess I'll take Buffalo on this one. It's a little because New England's been picking it up, in my opinion. They've been looking better. And Buffalo, they're having a hard time finishing games. They almost lost to Detroit. That was a very good game, but it's still Buffalo. You can't count Josh Allen out and Diggs and that defense. They're just all around. They're amazing. But I do think New England's going to give them a run for their money. I think it's going to be close.
I'm going to go Bills Mafia here. I feel like the Patriots, with Belichick. I feel like it'll be a close game, but I feel like Josh Allen, he's gonna want this one. So I'm gonna go with Bills.
I'm going to pick the Patriots for an upset, just for fun. I don't really have a great reason other than Belichick and it's home on a Thursday night. I like Thursday night home teams. So I'm going to go with the Patriots on the upset.
He's all confused. I'm gonna go take the Bills Mafia. Let's just go Bills. Josh Allen, I think now he's gonna be able to say, okay, I got to start eliminating mistakes. I need to start focusing on, if we're gonna go into the playoffs, because right now you let the Chiefs back at the number 1 spot. You just gave them that, and then you got Miami. Right now, I think right now Miami is just right there for the picking to take the division. So these guys need to get together because they do have a second round with Miami pretty soon. But for now, I think Buffalo will go ahead and close out on New England. All right, let's go ahead and move on over to the DDK Fantasy Football lineup. Travis, who do you need to start?
This week, I'm putting Joshua Palmer, the wide receiver from the Chargers, in there. Ever since Mike Williams got injured, he's been stepping it up really big for the Chargers receiving core. I feel like he'll be the starter. Sid Cam Akers, ever since Darrell Henderson got cut, he just hasn't been performing at all. And then a sleeper is Deshaun Watson.
You want to start Amari Cooper. With Deshaun Watson coming back, I feel like it's going to be a dynamic duo. I feel like they're going to look really good, and I feel like Amari Cooper's going to have a good game with Deshaun Watson back there. Now to sit, let's sit Raheem Mostert. He missed last week, but with Jeff Wilson in Miami's backfield, it's looking tough for Mostert. So I'd sit him.
Who do you have as a sleeper?
As a sleeper? Man, I wasn't prepared for this. Give me a second.
I didn't
Pacheco.
I knew he was going to say that.
Got to take Pacheco, man. He, ever since Allaire went out, Pacheco's been the number 1 back, and he's looked really good. And he's been putting up points fantasy-wise, too. So
I am going to go for a start, assuming he plays Aaron Jones. I know he's questionable, but he's been a little banged up all week. But I think he's going to have a good day if he is running against Chicago. So make sure you watch that lineup. But if so, I'd get him in. Sitting, I am thinking of sitting Christian McCaffrey. The Miami's got a really good run defense, and if Miami gets some points on the board, they're going to be throwing. So I don't think I'm not sure McCaffrey's going to get a lot of points. Kind of my sleeper is since he went with Pacheco, I'm going to go with not Mixon but Samaje Perine. He's Mixon is still questionable, and man, Perine has looked good the last few weeks. He had 3 touchdowns a couple weeks ago. In Pittsburgh, he had I would say a really good game last week in Tennessee. So I look for him to have maybe a decent game if Mixon's not pulling his weight.
All right, I would start Njoku of the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, now that you see that catch in the back of the end zone, that was great.
Especially with Deshaun Watson coming back, he is a safety haven to be able to catch. So I'm going to take Njoku. I would sit. Believe it or not, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but sit Russell Wilson. Gosh, sit him. He's not doing you guys.
I think we've been sitting him since like week 2.
Gosh, sit him down, please. The thing is the guy, for fantasy purposes, the guy can't score more than 10 points. So if you guys got him, get rid of him. Just get rid of him. I mean, because he's just a bad portfolio. He's just bringing you down. As a sleeper, I would contemplate and putting in Joe Cool here. I would put him. I would put it. Oh,
Mixon, Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Yeah. Joe Shiesty.
Joe Shiesty. Okay, I like that. Joe Shiesty. And I'll tell you
why. He gets
why.
out of that pocket, man.
I'll tell you why. The thing is that for these games, he excels. And especially with Kansas City, he's got this. I don't know what it is. It's just when he's playing against Kansas City, he strides. He struggles against Pittsburgh. He has great games against Baltimore. He struggles against Cleveland. But for some reason with Kansas City, he just lights it up. And so that's a sleeper. If you have him on your team, I would use him. And especially if you're in a dual quarterback system, definitely put him in. All right. Let's move it on over to our Driz and Los players of the week. Chris, who do you nominate offense and defense players of the week?
Offense, I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts. He just had a really good game he had a good game. Defensive wise, I'm going with Ed Oliver. Buffalo Bills, he was all over the place.
Josh Jacobs. 300 total
That was
yards,
my
man.
next big one.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs looked phenomenal. He's the reason, the Raiders won, and he's the reason the Raiders are winning at the moment. So give me him, man. He played phenomenal. Defensively, give me Brian Burns. He's another reason why the AFC West is the Chiefs, because he took you guys out, Everybody takes the Broncos out, though, I guess. So, but yeah, give me Brian Burns. He had a great game against you guys.
I'm going to go Josh Jacobs offensively, 84-yard overtime touchdown to win the game. He's, I think, tied or right behind Derrick Henry for rushing yards this year. And then defensively, Ed Oliver, I believe he had 1 or 2 sacks, forced fumble recovery. So, he's been balling this last week.
I'm going to have to piggyback off of you with Josh Jacobs. That was just phenomenal. Just the way he ran that ball towards the end. You had Derek Carr have an emotional breakdown because he's like, did this really happen? Is he really doing it? So definitely, that's amazing to see running backs like that being able to perform at that level. And, of course, Oliver as well with the Bills. He was fun to watch on Thanksgiving. The guy literally was giving Jared Goff a run for his money. He's like, this guy doesn't stop. He's coming after me. So he was worse than the IRS. He was on them. All right, you guys, let's move on over to our favorite show. One of our favorite shows. It's Who's Hot and Who's Not. You're more excited on the not, Chris. Man, he's all optimistic here. It's brought to you by Sky Trampoline.
It's my favorite segment.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, Travis, I'll start this off with you. Who's hot?
I'm going to go with the Bills. I feel like this is a basic answer, but I feel like they're one of the hot teams still.
Give me the Cowboys. Their defense is still phenomenal, and now offensively, they're really picking it up even more than they already have. They would be at the top of most divisions. It's just they're in a tough division. So,
I really like the Dolphins. I'm going with the Dolphins hot. I picked them over San Francisco earlier, and I think they're gonna be swimming high. I guess I don't know, whatever Dolphins do.
The flipper. I'll tell you this. Miami is just a great fun team to watch. You just don't know what they're going to do, and especially with Tua, he's got the weapons that he needs. So I'm going to take Miami. Now let's start over with who's not. Okay, Chris, go for it.
I'm going to go with the Saints. Poor guys, man. I like my Red Rifle, Andy Dalton. Used to play for my Bengals, but he has just had a tough go of it in New Orleans. He looks, him and the lobby have a little bit, but the team itself is just, I don't know what they are. They're not hot, that's for sure. They're definitely not.
I'll stick with the NFC South, but I'm going to go Tampa Bay, which is crazy because they're leading their division with the losing record. They lost last week. They don't look good offensively right now. They're struggling, and it's just they keep losing these close games. And
I thought for sure, I was like, oh, it's like a minute 40 left, and Tom Brady's got the ball. It's a tie ball game. He's going to win. Nope. What?
Yep. They've just been.
Garrett was eating his lunch.
Yeah, man. And Cleveland gave him a run for the money, but come on, man. How are you gonna? I think it's crazy. The fact that they're winning their division with this record is insane to me.
I'm going to go with Denver here. They've been on a 3-game losing streak. They've just been suffering, but I'm going to go Denver.
Man, this is tough. This is tough. You got Denver, definitely. I'm just going to go ahead and just take the Colts. I just feel that the Colts, they've been in disarray. And it just sucks because they've got an awesome top 10 running back in Jonathan Taylor. And Matt Ryan, the Matty Ice experience, it didn't really work for them. They're doing the same thing as trying to rescue these old guys coming in and thinking, okay, they might give us a season or two. It's just not going to work. And right now, if Tennessee starts to amp up and being able to get young again, it looks like Tennessee's going to run that division for a while. And then especially with Jacksonville just right there. Jacksonville's got the right tools. They just need a little bit more players in, and they might run the AFC South one day. It's been a long time since the Jacksonville Jaguars have won a division.
Blake Bortles.
No, I'm talking about back with Mark Burnell and Fred Taylor and those guys back in the day. So I'm going to take the Colts. So pretty much that wraps up our season our show for week 13. Tune into week 14 for sure. We're going to also have some upcoming shows. Don't forget, we're giving away the 2 tickets and dinner for the Avatar movie. So all you have to do is
Like and subscribe.
on the Silver Cosmo movie reviews. And that's all you got to do there. And also, we will be also giving away a gift card, again, back to our favorite spot for sports stuff at Superstar Sports at the Town East or Town West Mall here in Wichita, Kansas. And yes, as addressed for all our out-of-towners, you will get a gift certificate to fanatics.com. So before we go, any shout-outs?
Yeah, I got to shout out to my other Who Day hopefuls. Let's have a good weekend this week. And another shout out to my poor OSU Buckeye believers out there. Sorry, guys, we didn't get them this year. We'll get them next year. Maybe we get them in the playoffs. We'll see.
Shout out to you guys. It's fun coming on here and talking football, man.
Shout out to you, Carlos, Eric. Thanks for having me. Shout out to Andrew, fellow Chargers fan.
All right. Hey, I want to give a shout out to our friend Travis, a big Baltimore Ravens fan. I'm glad to always talk to him about Baltimore. Also to our friends Grim and Taylor on the show here. They're big Raven fans. And of course, give a shout out to the Michigan Wolverines. What a game. What a game. And also it's for our home state of Kansas State Wildcats going against the Texas Christian University, the Horned Frogs. What a game that I'm looking forward to. I mean, I'm happy that K-State's in, but the thing is TCU would represent the college playoffs, and I'd rather see TCU in. But, hey, wish the best to the both of you guys. Thank you to the staff, as always being there and supportive, and all the audience. You guys make it worth keep going on this content. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode. We're out.